Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
저 얘기만
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Samsara Sagare Magnam Dinamam Karunanide Karma Graya Grihitangam Mam Uttara Bhavanava Srimad Bhagavata Kyoyam Prataksha Krishna Evai Svikritosi Mayanata Muktyartam Bhavasagare Manorate Madiyoyam Sapala Sarvadatvaya Nilguneiva Kartavya Tasoham Tavakeshava Bhave Bhave Yada Bhakti Padayos Tavachayate Tata Gurushvate Vesha Natasvam No Yata Prabhu Nama Sankirtanam Nyasha Sarvapapa Pranashanam Pranamo Tukashamanastam Namami Harim Param Sammadashaya Bayat Idaratas Charteshvabigasvarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muyanti Yat Suraya Tejovari Muridam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisalgo Murisha Tamna Svena Sata Nirastakvakam Satam Param Dimai Dharma Projita Kaita Buttara Paramo Nilma Saranam Satam Vedyam Bhastavam Attarvastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Mundanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimba Pare Vishwaraha Satyo Hritya Bharutya Tetra Kritivi Shushrushvish Takshana Nikama Kalpataro Kalitam Balam Shukamukat Amrita Drava Samyutam Pivada Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muraho Rashika Bhubi Bhavuka Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namah Yam Prabhujantam Anupeta Peta Grityam Dvepayano Virahakatar Ajuhava Putreti Tammayataya Tarabo Vinedustam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munim Anatosmi Yasvanubhavam Akila Shrutisharamekam Adhyatmadipam Atirtishatam Tamontam Samsarinam Karunayaha Puranaguhyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Kurum Muninam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Kamaniya Kishora Mukta Multe Kalavenu Kvanita Drita Nanendoho Mama Vacha Vijrimbitam Murare Madhurimna Kanikapi Kapi Kapi Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Kauravani Prasarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarine Pande Nanda Vrajastrinam Padarenu Abhishnasha Yasam Harigato Gitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam Sri Gopi Charana Ravinda Paramanave Namaha Pitambaram Karavirajita Chakrashankam Komutaki Sarashicham Kamudra Karuna Samudram Radha Sahayamiti Sundara Mandahasa Hasam Patala Yesha Manisham Hridi Bhavayami Komalam Kujayam Benum Shamalok Yam Kumaraka Veda Vedya Param Brahma Pasatam Prato Mama Bukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yakripa Tamaham Bande Paramananda Madamam Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all Srimad Bhagavatam attendees, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances and all girls of Srila Prabhupada and Patanjali Muni for speaking today. I'm welcoming you all. And please do forgive us if we do any accident, any mistake, or any unknown offense. Please forgive us, please. Thank you so much. So I will just ask a request to Rupa Mataji to please kindly start the summary of the class from last week, please.
Okay. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Rupa Mataji.
Okay, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Please forgive any mistakes that I make. My summary is quite small today. It's a short summary. So, okay. Summary of last class. We are discussing Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 1. The word Satyam Param Dhimahi. In order to understand Satyam Param Dhimahi, we need to understand Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 11, Chapter 23. Canto 11, Chapter 23 describes how a miserly Brahmana tolerated tremendous insults just by changing his perception of things happening to him. We may think the cause of insult is others, but the Shastric conclusion is that the cause of insult is our own mindset. If we change our mindset, we see that there is nothing to tolerate. There are two types of tolerances. Hear the insult and suppress our feelings and mind, and hear the insult, don't recognize it as an insult, then there is nothing to tolerate. How to recognize Satyam in our lives? We recognize Satyam as Krishna in our lives. Though this 23rd chapter, through this 23rd chapter, we will learn how to make and develop relationship with Krishna and how to deal with the demons. Krishna was very pleased to create the human form of life because in this form, we have sufficient intelligence to perceive the absolute truth, Satyam Param. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita 7.19 and in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.9.29, the word Sudurlabha is used to emphasize that this human form of life is very, very difficult to attain. Once you have got human form of life, use it in Paropkar, helping others and leading a Shastric life. If we do not follow Shastric life, we will become like Duryodhan. Duryodhan's perception during the war was, before the war was, the Kauravas' power is unlimited, aparyaptam, because it's protected by Bhishma. And Pandava's power is limited, paryaptam, because it is protected by Bhima. But Duryodhan's perception was wrong because Kauravas were defeated. So aparyaptam also means insufficient. So Krishna knew Kauravas' power was insufficient. If we go according to Krishna's plan or calculation for our lives, we will be successful. We need to surrender to Krishna's plan or calculation. All of us have different perceptions. One person's perception might be totally opposite to another person's perception. That's why Shastric instructions are given for us to know what Krishna wants us to learn. Through the examples of Prahlad and Avanti Brahman, etc., Krishna is trying to teach us the process. Hiranyakashipu tortured Prahlad in so many ways, but failed because Prahlad's full faith in Vishnu. We all want Krishna, but we don't want the process. Krishna consciousness does not work like that. When we have trying times or challenges in our lives, we should see them as the process to see Krishna in our lives. There is a mirror and window theory. When things don't go well, look at the mirror. Who do you see? Yourself. So reflect and correct yourself. When things go right in your life, look out of the window. What do you see? The sun, moon, stars, people, etc. Thank others for things that's going right in your life, not yourself alone. In Kali Yuga, little bit of practice of Krishna consciousness or devotional life can take us to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says, even if you have some ulterior desire in the beginning, please carry on reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. Be in association of devotees, do some devotional service. These unwanted desires will be removed. We also learned that Vedic culture is all about giving and sharing. A coconut tree, for example, takes little water to grow, but gives coconut fruit and coconut water throughout its life. Other living entities live on the tree, so the coconut tree provides shelter for them. In the same way, rivers flow to give water, cows give milk. Therefore, we should look at nature and learn to give. This human form of life should be utilized in cultivating Krishna consciousness and helping others cultivate Krishna consciousness. Hari Bol, thank you.
Thank you very much. It was really very wonderful summary and a very perfect on timing. Thank you. Thank you very much for enlightening us.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Please, Pinky Shambhatuji, please could you kindly unmute yourself and say the story of demon today, Kalia.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo, please accept humble wishes, please.
Please accept mine, and please forgive if I make any mistakes.
I know, definitely you will do the best, I'm sure. Looking forward to hear you.
Okay. Within the river Yamuna, there was a great lake where many hooded serpent Kalia used to live. Because of his poison, the whole area was so contaminated that it emanated a poisonous vapor. If a bird even passed over the spot, it immediately would fall down in the water and die due to the poisonous effect of the Yamuna's vapors. Even the trees were dead. Krishna climbed up a big kadamba tree on the bank of the Yamuna and jumped in the midst of the poisonous lake. Kalya grabbed Krishna with his mighty coils. Seeing the incredible way in which Krishna was enveloped in the coils of the serpent, the cowherd boys and inhabitants of Vrindavan immediately became stunned out of fear. They could only cry in agony and stand erect on the bank, unable to help Krishna. There were ill omens manifest. The earth trembled, meteors fell from the sky, and the bodies of men shivered. All these are indications of great immediate danger. All the inhabitants of Vrindavan came out of the village to see Krishna. While this was happening, Balram stood there simply smiling. He knew how powerful his younger brother Krishna was, and there was no cause for anxiety when Krishna was fighting with an ordinary serpent. On the other hand, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, being disturbed, began to search out for Krishna by following the impression of his footprints on the ground, and thus they moved towards the bank of the Yamuna. When Mother Yashoda arrived, she fainted. Krishna remained like an ordinary child gripped in the coils of Kalya, but when he saw that all the inhabitants of Gokul were just on the point of death, Krishna immediately freed himself. He began to expand his body, and when the serpent tried to hold him, he felt a great strain. On account of the strain, his coils slackened, and he had no other alternative but to let loose the personality of Godhead Krishna from his grasp. Kalya then became very angry, and his great hoods expanded. He exhaled poisonous fumes from his nostrils, his eyes blazed like fire, and flames issued from his mouth. Kalya looked for an opportunity to bite Krishna, but Krishna moved around him. The serpent gradually became fatigued. Krishna immediately pressed down the serpent's hoods and jumped on to them. The Lord began to dance upon the hoods of the serpent, although they were moving up and fro. Upon seeing this, even the demigods became very pleased. He began to dash Kalya with his lotus feet, and this was more than the serpent could bear. Gradually, Kalya was reduced to struggling for his very life. He vomited all kinds of refuse and exhaled fire. While throwing up poisonous materials from within, Kalya became reduced in his sinful situation. Out of great anger, he began to struggle for existence and tried to raise one of his hoods to kill the Lord. The Lord immediately captured that hood and subdued it by kicking and dancing on it. It actually appeared as if the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu was being worshipped. The poisons emanating from the mouth of the serpent appeared to be like flower offerings. Kalya then began to vomit blood instead of poison. He was completely fatigued. Within his mind, however, he finally began to understand that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he surrendered unto him. The wives of the serpent, known as the Nagpatnis, saw that their husband was being subdued by the kicking of the Lord. Kalya's wives prepared to worship the Lord. They also surrendered unto the Supreme Lord and began to pray. They appeared before him and offered respectful obeisances. The Nagpatnis knew that Krishna is the shelter of all surrendered souls, and they desired to release their husband from the impending danger by pleasing the Lord with their prayers. Then Kalya, with folded hands, humbly began to pray to the Supreme Lord Krishna. My dear Lord, I am born as a serpent. Therefore, by natural instinct, I am very angry. How is it possible to give up my acquired nature without your mercy? My dear Lord, kindly excuse me for my inevitable material tendencies. Now you can punish me or save me as you desire. After hearing this, Krishna ordered the serpent, you must immediately leave this place and go to the ocean. Don't pollute the waters of the Yamuna. Let it be drunk by my cows and cowherd boys. You came here out of fear of Garuda, who wanted to eat you in the beautiful land by the ocean. Now, after seeing the marks where I have touched your head with my lotus feet, Garuda will not disturb you. The Lord was pleased with Kalia and his wives. Immediately after hearing his order, the wives began to worship him with great offerings. In this way, they pleased the master Garuda, of whom they were very much afraid. Then, obeying the orders of Lord Krishna, all of them left the lake within the Yamuna. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I think you need to unmute.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Bhataji. Thank you very much for
Yes,
wonderful
thank
class.
you.
Sorry, I said everything without mute. Okay, it was just so amazing. Honestly, you really said really well. Thank you very much. Very good attempt for the
Thank
Kali story. And now we request the Patanjali Muni Prabhu to begin the classes for Srimad Bhagvatam. And we say three Haribol to Patanjali Muni Prabhu for welcoming him. Thank you, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Haribol.
Haribol,
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 Haribol.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So before I start, let me check them any message. Okay. So first of all, I thank you, Rupa, so that such a wonderful summary. So again, it's like like a motivational story. They speak so short time, but they provide so much of information and so much of inspiration also. Thank you for that. And also, thank you, Shyam Mataji, and wonderful summary. Kali is one of demon who is very lucky. So out of all the demon, actually that demon served Krishna lotus feet, and also they had the opportunity and also fortune to directly touched by lotus feet. All other even devotee, they don't have opportunity to touch lotus feet directly. But this Kalia, Lord was dancing on their hood, which means not only once, they get this blessing again and again. And also other demons, they were killed, but by petition of Naga Patani or the wives, so that due to their request, Krishna got soft-hearted and then he spared his life. So in this way, out of all the demon story, the Kalia story is one of sweetest lila. So thank you for that. And it's interesting that whatever came out of Kalia's mouth, although he was painfully, he was vomiting, but and yet Krishna took it as a flower offering. So that's a Krishna. So thank you very much. So we are going through again this 23rd chapter of 11th canto. So as requested by Sangeeta Mataji, I'll read the first from text 31 to 42. So then, and then you can
Ask the people. Yeah, that's fine. So you
two verse each, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay.
That's fine.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Itya Vipretya Manasa Yavanto Divija Sattamaha Ummucha Hridaya Grantin Shanto Bhikshur Abun Muni Sachachara Mahim Etam Sanyatatmendriya Nilaha Bhikshaltam Nagakara Graman Asango Lakshito Bishat Tambai Prabhayasam Bhikshum Abadhutam Satjanaha Drishtva paryabhavan bhatra bahubivihi paribhutivihi kechit trivenum jagrihu eke patram kamandalum pitam chaikekshat sutram cha kantham chirani kechana pradaya cha punastani darshitanya dadul munehe annam cha vaishya sampannam punjanasya sarittate Butrayanti cha papista stivantyasya cha muldani yata bhacham bhachayanti tadayanti na bhakti ched taljayantya pare bhagvihi stenoyam iti padinaha patnanti dhachvatam kechit Patyatam iti shippantyeke bhajananta esha dharma divija shataha shina vittam imam vrittim agrahi svajhanot chitaha aho esha mahasaro dhritiman girira diva maunena sadayatyartam Bhakavadrida Nishchaya iti eke vihas santyenam eke dulbhatayanti cha tam bhavandul niruruttul yatha kritanakam divijam esham sa vaitikam dukkham deihikam cha yat Bhoktavyam atmanudhishtam praptam abhutyata paribhuta imam katham gatayatta naradhamaihi patayatvihi svadharmasto trittim astaya satvikim. Okay. So now please read translation.
Yeah, okay. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Okay, so can we just request Vinod Bihari Prabhu, will you start the first two translation, please?
Which was Mataji?
The 31st and 32, please.
Okay, Mataji. Lord Sri Krishna continued, his mind thus determined, the most excellent Avanti Brahmana was able to unite the notes of desire within his heart. He then assumed the role of a peaceful and silent sannyasi mendicant. And the 32?
Yes,
He
please.
wondered about the earth, keeping his intelligence, senses, and life air under control. To beg charity, he traveled alone to various cities and villages. He did not advertise his advanced spiritual position and thus was not recognized by others. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Thank you. Next to the Rasalila Srimati Didi, please. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, which one I'm reading? 33?
3 and 34, please. Yeah.
O kind Uddhava, seeing him as an old dirty beggar, rowdy persons would dishonor him with many insults. Text 34. Some of these persons would take away his sannyasi rod and some the water pot which he was using as a begging bowl. Some took his deerskin seat, some his chanting beads, and some would steal his torn-ragged clothing. Displaying these things before him, they would pretend to offer him back, but would then hide them again.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank
Next,
you, Krishna.
Haribol. Kirtan Mataji, Haribol. 30, 35 and 36, please.
Okay. Can you move the text up a bit?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you move the text up a bit?
Oh, yeah, sure. 35 and 36.
Although he had taken a vow of silence, they would try to make him speak.
35, sorry, Mata, 35.
Oh, 35.
35. Yeah, please.
When he was sitting on the bank of a river, about to partake of food that he had collected by his begging, and such sinful rascals would come and pass urine on it, and they would dare to spit on his head. Although he had taken a vow of silence, they would try to make him speak, and if he did not speak, they would beat him up with sticks. Others would chastise him, saying, "This man is just a thief," and others would bind him up with rope, shouting, "Tie him up, tie him up." Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Chitta. Next is the Kartike Prabhu. Kartike Prabhuji. I can't see your name on the screen here. Are you there? Okay, in that case, Rajan Prabhu, could you unmute yourself, please? Rajan Dattani.
They would criticize and insult him, saying this man is just a hypocrite and a cheat. He makes a business out of religion simply because he lost all his wealth and his family threw him out. Some would ridicule him by saying, just see this greatly powerful sage. He is as steadfast as the Himalaya mountain. By practice of silence, he strives for his goal with great determination, just like a heron. Other persons would pass foul air upon him, and sometimes others would bind this twice-born Brahmana in chains and keep him captive like a pet animal. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. The next is Meena Kharya, please. Verse 40 and 41, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Hare Krishna. The Brahmana understood that all his suffering from other living beings, from the higher forces of nature, and from his own body was unavoidable, being allotted to him by providence. Even while being insulted by these low-class men who were trying to affect his downfall, he remained steady in his spiritual duties. Fixing his resolution in the mode of goodness, he began to chant the following song. Hare Krishna.
Hi, Bo. Thank you very much, Meena. Okay, so that's one 41, right, Prabhu? Patanjali Muni Prabhu?
Yes. One more up to 42.
Okay, up to 42. In that, Meghna Mataji, could you read 42, please?
The Brahmana said, "These people are not the cause of my happiness and distress, neither the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life."
Thank you, Meghna Mataji. The next one, whichever the translation is your turn again, yeah, Mataji, later on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So here it starts with today we'll start with Krishna saying about this Brahmana. So he says here, iti abhipretya manasa hyavantoho divija satama. So divija satama, which means this Brahmana, ummucha hridaya grantin. So hridaya granti. Hridaya granti means many granti, many notes, heart notes in our heart. Ummucha, he became free from. He's released from this Hridaya Granthi, and then you know what happened? He says Shantaha. He became completely peaceful, and also although he was a bhikshu, was a beggar, but Munihi. Muni is in general Muni we known as title, so Narada Muni. Or my name is my Guru Mani gave Patanjali Muni. Muni as well a title as well as a status of mind, which is silent. Silent means being content. So in the mind, when it's not content, they're saying so many things. But when the mind is fully satisfied, there's nothing to say much. So Munihi means also content in the mind. So because content in the mind, that's why they are able to be silent. So this is the status of the Avanti Brahmana. It's peaceful, Shanti, So Shanti, another meaning of Shanti is being happy. So Krishna says, Ashantasya kuta sukham. So if there is no Shanti, where is the Sukha? So in olden days, Shanti, not just the meaning of peace, actually Shanti means in state of happiness. So we discussed about this Brahmana right in the beginning. Everyone, maybe if you have a book, so go to text 6, the description of Avanti Brahmana. In text 6, earlier on, it says, Avanti shu divija kaschit. So in Avanti, there is someone, some Brahmana, divija kaschit, asid adhyatma shriyaha. So he was adhyatamaha. He was very rich. And Bharta Vritti, his business was successful, but and yet Kadalyas, he was very miser. Kadalya, miser not only to others, toward himself only. And then he's Kami Lupta Atikopanaha. So he's lusty, at the same time Lupta, very greedy, and Krishna described him as Atikopanaha. So Kopana means the person who is very angry. But Atikopana is easily get angry. Any slight issue, any slight dissatisfaction, he becomes very angry. So this Atikopana, one who is prone to very quick anger, but this the same person turning into Shantaha and then Munihi. How this could be possible? So in Bhagavad Gita, right in the beginning, it's a very interesting description about Arjuna. Arjuna here, he shows some different faces throughout the Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes he showed his feature as a general, sometimes ordinary human being, and then later on he showed his features as a devotee. So he changed his head. Right in the beginning, he turned up like a general. He's saying to Krishna, not like a friend, he's ordering to his chauffeur. So he's saying, right in the beginning, he's saying that Senayor Ubayor Matte Ratam Stapame Achuta. So Senayor Ubayor Matte, in the middle of both army, Ratam, my chariot, Stapame Achuta. Oh Achuta, you park my chariot right in the middle. So here there is no please, no nice way of asking. This is director order general to foot soldier. So he's showing that he's a greatness. And then he says there, he says, Drishtemam svajanam Krishna yuyusum samupastitam Siddhanti mama gatrani mukam cha parishushati Vepatascha sharire me roma harshacha jayate. So here he's saying Dristvemam svajanam Krishna. So all my seeing my relatives, you want to see who is there to fight with me, but unfortunately there are so many relatives. Yusum samupastam, they're here not to greet him, to fight. And then having seen that, not only that, he saw his grandfather Vishmadev, his own guru Dronacharya is there. Then he became Siddhanti Mamaghatrani. His all the limbs was shaking. And then Mukhamcha Parishushati, his mouth was drying up. And then Pepatuscha Sharireme, he's all the what do you call, not only his body is shaking, Roma Harshat Jayate, his hair on the body was standing on end. And then he's saying, Kandibam Sram Sate Hastat Tvakchaiva Paridhayate Nacha Shagnomi Abastatum Brahmati Bacha Me Manaha. What is his status of mind? Is a Brahmativa, Brahmati. I'm confused. And also so confused, Nacha Shagnomi Abastatum. I'm not able to stand even. Why? Because Kandiva Sramstastat, my bow is so, my body is so weak, I'm mentally so depressed, and then the bow is slipping away from my hand, and then tubakjaiga pari dhayate. All my skin is like burning. So this is the features of normal human being when they break down. So this Arjuna, when Krishna's speech finishes at the end of chapter 18th chapter. If you look at 18th chapter, I think the text 78. In the text 78, he said here, Nashta moha smriti lakta tava prasadan mayachuta stitosmi kata sandeha karishe bachanam tava. So he's saying that Nashta moha, all my illusion is gone. So another sense, whatever he felt, whatever he thought, right in the beginning, he realized there is nothing but moha. It's his own illusion, the creation of his own mind. And having realized that there is his own illusion, then smriti lapta, he gained his memory, and then he thanking Krishna, tava prasadat maya achuta. So I realized this tava prasada, by your mercy. And then what he says? Stitosmi. So now I'm firm. So now I'm ready. In the beginning he said, Nacha shang nomi abastatum. I won't be able to, I cannot even stand, but he's saying stitosmi. Now I'm fixed. Stitaha. So Bhagavad chapter 2, stita pragya, the fixed intelligence, firm intelligence, it comes later on. So Arjuna saying, I'm now fixed, I'm firm, and then kata sandeha, all my doubt has gone. And then karishe bachanam tava. So I will do whatever you say. Previously he came here to fight for his own will, gaining kingdom. So he says in the beginning, he says, Rajam Sukanicha. So I want the happiness, I want to kingdom back. But when he was depressed, I don't want all these things. But ulterior, his motivation is Raja Sukha, Rajam Sukha. For all these things, his own motivation. But he is saying that all my motivation is gone. Now, Karishe Bachanam Taba. So my only motivation is to please you, and then Karishe. So I will do whatever you say. So in this way, think about it. On the battlefield, the person who broke down changed into within 45 minutes and then became entirely new person. So luckily, Arjuna had instruction of Krishna. But Avanti Brahmana, then think about what caused him to be Atikopana, the person who is very much angry, very much lupta, very much greedy. This person into here, he said, Shantaha Bhikshur Munihi. He became silent. He became completely content in his life. So what made him this change? The process of changing is described from next verse. So from next verse, it looks like it's a horrible description by someone. Can you imagine someone is urinate on head? It says here, Butrayanti cha papishtaha. Papi means the, what they call, you know, the Sukhi means a happy person, Papi means a simple person. Papistaha means the person who stays in the sin, they never can get out. So papistaha. So though these simple people, mutra yanti, stivayanti. Not only urinating on him, he's urinating on, spitting on him, muldana, you know, on the top, on the head. And then he's saying that yata bhacham bhajayanti. So he was practicing bhacham, Yatabacham, controlled speech, which means monavrata. He doesn't say anything which is not necessary, but he trying to bhajayanti. They trying to make him to speak, but he didn't speak. So when they didn't speak, what do? Tadayanti na bhakti chet. If they don't speak, then they start beating him. And also they playing like a child play with a toy. And also child, sometimes the bullies. So in the classroom, so one child bring something nice, new things, let's say new pencil or whatever, and then the bully comes and they take a pencil away, and then shall I give you or back? Give you back. It said here, Pradhayacha punastani. So having taken away and the Pradhaya, they're trying to give it back. And then when try to the other person trying to get it back, and again they take away. So here says Pradhayacha punastani darshitani adaduhu. And they have showing it while it's like about to give it back, but adad here, adadu, they take it back again. So this they doing to again and again, punastani, again and again they doing. And also annamcha bhaksha sampannam. So by begging, bhaksha sampannam, by begging, he got some annam, some food he got it. But what is he doing? They're saying that here, annamcha bhaksha sampannam bunjanasya saritate. And then when he just about to take prasadam on the, for example, bank of river, he says saritate on the bank of a river, and then they snatched it again. So in this way, the incredible thing they do. Even nowadays, even if a horrible person, they may not do in this much degree of insult. But in those days, somehow, there are sadhus also at the same time. There are like this type of people also there. But as you see, this is nothing but process of our Avanti Brahmana turning into Shanti. So in our mind, at least in my mind, if someone treats me like this, then it becomes worse. But somehow this person, you know what happens? Out of all this experience, somehow he comes to realization that he becomes more peaceful than ever before. So this is the puzzle we have to solve. So this is what Bhagavatam teaching us right from the beginning. This change of the perception, how this person taking this such an insult as a springboard for next level of his life. So, as you know, the Steve Jobs, so he changed the world by personal computer. Previously, computer is for the big machine, all the big bank, big company. They used to have a computer. The computer itself has a big what we call machine. It wasn't like a small like this. So he turned into personal computer. Anybody can have a computer. So he changed the perception. And also smartphone. He started a smartphone, iPad, iPhone, etc., etc. But what is the source of his inspiration? How did it start? It started when he was 7 years old. So one time, as you know, that he was adopted. So his parents was the mother was a student in university who was doing master's degree, and also husband and someone else. So they had a baby, Steve Jobs, but they didn't have a facility, and also they didn't have a situation that look after him. So they decide to give this baby away. So one candidate came, so loyal couple. So they received Steve Jobs when he was a baby, but they rejected immediately. Why? Because he was a boy. So they were expecting a girl, but the boy came, so they rejected it. And the second parents came, and then happily accepted him, and they raised Steve Jobs. And at the age of 7, one day, he was playing with friends. And then, the rumor goes around. So the friends, they found out he was adopted. And then they're ridiculing him, insulting him that you are abandoned by your own parents. Your real mother and father didn't want to look after you. So you are thrown away by your parents. So when, 7 years old child, his heart is broken. And then he was crying and they came back. And I asked father, am I really abandoned by my own parents? And then when the adopted father, when he heard this word from Steve Jobs, he looked at his eyes and then he said seriously, look, you are not abandoned. You are specially chosen by us. Never forget this one. And he repeated again. Because in the beginning, Steve Jobs was all of a sudden, he was shocked. The answer was something he did not expected. He wanted to have some comfort or whatever. But he said something so shocking to his understanding. He said again, the father said again, you are not abandoned. You are specially chosen by us. You are specially chosen. So in this way, entirely it changed his perception of his life. And then rather than being despondent, he got courage back. So he pursued a career. And then later on, at the age of 20, he opened a company. It was very successful. But unfortunately, at the age of 30 or 31, CEO, he himself chose, that CEO kicked him out of his own company, Apple company. And then 11 years later, at the age of 41, he came back to that Apple company again, and then he made the Apple company one of richest company in the world at the moment. And then in his biography, he's saying that best thing happened in his life was the moment when he was kicked out of his own company. Initially, of course, he had a hard time, and also he has a mental breakdown also. But slowly he recovered from that hardship, and then he made that Apple company one of best company, one of the biggest company, one of the most profitable company in the world. How does this happen? It's all about the person's change of perception and then his own determination. Here, we are reading here this Avanti Brahman story also, so that what he went through is incredible. We cannot even imagine this one. So there is a saying in Subhashita, Vishadat Amritam Graham. Let me see, before this one, let me share the screen share so that what I prepared today, maybe I can read and together, and then, okay. Can you see this on the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can see the screen, yeah? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So out of all the dhanam, anna dhanam, param dhanam, out of all the charity, the food charities is param dhanam, best. But vidya dhanam, ata param. But the giving the knowledge, vidya, is higher than annadan. So annadan, you know, we celebrate annadan. So vidyadan is the higher than annadan. Why? Annena shanika tripti. The food which is given actually gives a temporary satisfaction. So when we eat, we feel happy, but soon we go hungry again. So in this way, shanika tripti, it gives you temporary satisfaction. But and yet, for vidya, yavat jivitamcha vidyaya. So if you give knowledge, this knowledge will give rest of our life. So in this way, dhanam, out of all the dhanam, param dhanam is vidya dhanam. So this is dhanam which the Avanti Brahmana lacked because he was Kadalya. He was very miser. So due to this miserliness, so he went through all this trouble. But and yet, through this trouble, he became another person. So in Svashta, it says that Vishadat api amritam graham amodhyapi kanchanam amitra api sadritam balabat api subhashtam. So he says, Vishadat, even amongst poison, amritam graham. So you should know how to extract nectar out of poison. Amodhyat api kanchana. Kanchana means gold, suvarna. So sometimes gold and amodhyat api in a dirty place. So even if a dirty place, you pick up gold, you clean it nicely, then gold will not lose its value because it came from dirty place. So in this way, even if in a situation where it's not favorable, it's not conducive for your spiritual life, even then, through that difficult circumstances, somehow you have extracted the spiritual essence. So it says, amodhyat api kanchanam. Amitra api sadritam. Even if there is enemy, mitra means friend, amitra is one who is not friend. One who is not friend means enemy. So mitra and amitra, friend and enemy. So even the enemy, amitra, api sadritam. If he has a certain good quality, then you should learn. And then baladat api subhashitam. Even if a young child, there is something good. If they say something instructive, then we should learn. So this is the teachings in Vedic society. So in this way, whatever we do, in order to achieve nectar, there is a process to it. That process, unfortunately, is not that sweet. Sometimes it requires our hard endeavor. Sometimes it requires of our even the level of mental breakdown. It requires a certain level of humiliation. Sometimes we have to go through insult. Never mind those, whatever experience, especially unpleasant experience, try to turn it into in the good way so that it makes one of a stepping stone for your spiritual advancement. Don't let that obstacle as your stumbling block. This is the teachings of 23rd chapter. This is fundamentally what teaches in Srimad Bhagvatam from right in the beginning by Satyam Param Dhimami. You try to see the Satyam, what is the truth in it. So I'll come back to slide which I prepared today. So in Bhagavata 17th chapter text 20. So Dhatavyam, so this is the principle of dhanam. So dhatavyam iti yat vritam diyate anukarine desha kale cha patre cha yat dhanam satvikam smritam. So anyone can read this translation, please?
Yeah. Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at the proper time and place and to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness.
Thank you.
So thank you. So in this way, try to mold your life in a way that how to give things. So that if you start to give things, then it will lessen your focus on your personal things. So this process, it looks like it from the beginning that for us, it gives us a challenge, not easy to do so. So in Ramayana, there is one verse that this is right in the beginning. It says, Ma nishada pratishtam tavam agamaha shashvati samaha yat kauncha mituna ekam avadihi kama mohitam. So this is the first verse of all the Shastras. So this is called Adikavi, the Valmiki Muni. What he composed is the beginning of all the slokas. So the way this verse came was one day Valmiki Muni was roaming by the riverside, and he saw that beautiful crane, the couple. So this couple, as you know, out of all the birds, so some birds, the male and female relationship is very strong and also very sweet also. So they were enjoying kama mohita, they're loving each other, and then they're exchanging their love. And then suddenly, from the forest, that one hunter came, Vishada came, and then he shot arrow and then killed the male bird. And then Narada Muni, the Valmiki Rishi is heartbroken. It's such a beautiful scene that the loving crane, the male and female, they're enjoying their relationship, they're happy together. Somehow this hunter killed the one bird. And then out of sadness, out of anger, he came immediately without consciousness, the word came out. Ma nishada pratishtam. Oh Nishada, you hunter, ma pratishtam. For you there is no rest, no peace. For tavam agama shashvati sama. Forever, whatever years to come, forever for you there is no peace, no rest in your life. Why? Yat krauncha mithuna ekam avadihi, because you killed ekam, the one bird, avadihi. You killed it. And also how they killed? Kama mohitam. They are in such a loving relationship, and then you killed. How this is possible? So in this way, he cursed this hunter. And then after cursing this hunter, he realized that, oh, what have I done? The hunter's business is hunting. Like as Kalya said to Krishna today. Kalya said to Krishna, so you implanted poison in me. You created me as a snake, and then snake has a poison, so you put it there, so why are you blaming me? So in this way, the nature of a hunter, the job of a hunter is hunting the other animal. And also, maybe this is not acceptable, but how can I say Shasvati Samaha? For rest of years, and also Shasvati is forever he has to suffer for this misdeed. So how can I say that? Where is my compassion? So in this way, he was very much despondent. But at that time, Lord Brahma appeared. And then he said, oh, my son, so you don't need to feel depressed. Actually, what you said is perfect. Why? Because whatever you said is glorification of Lord Ram. And then he was surprised. How can it be? What I cursed is how can be glorification of Lord Ram? And then Lord Brahma explained that actually, then please listen. My explanation about your verse says, Ma nishada. Here, ma means in general don't. So ma pratishta means you don't have any rest. So ma means don't. So we know the verse, Bhagavata, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja, Mam Ekam Saranam Praja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Shami Masucha. Sa means worry, Masucha, don't worry. In this way, ma means don't. But Lord Brahma said, ma means here is Lakshmi Devi. So we say Durga Ma, and also certain ma as a mother, respectable position, goddess, we call it ma. So ma means actually can be interpreted as goddess. So goddess is Nishada. Nishada means one who stays. Nishada can be mean hunter at the same time. Nishada, Upanishad. Upa means close, shat means sit, ni means very close with attention. That's called Upanishad. So Nishad is one who stays very close. So that Ma Nishada, so that God is where he stays very close, Lord. So for example, one of Krishna's name is Srinivas. Sri is Lakshmi Devi, Ni Vas. Vas means stays, live. So where Goddess Lakshmi stays, that person is Krishna. So one of Krishna names Srinivas. So this is exactly like Ma Nishada, where Goddess here, Sita Devi, where he stays, where she stays, means Ma Nishada means that Sita Devi always stays in the heart of Lord Ram. So in this way, Ma Nishada means Lord Ram. So he's saying, Ma Nishada means, oh Lord Ram, Pratishtam, you have peaceful or you have rest for all your time. So, and then here, Kauncha Mithunam Ekam Avadi. So here, Kauncha Mithunam Ekam Avadi Kama Mohitam. Here, Avadi, it means who is Avadi? This Avadi means killed. And Ekam, one bird is representing Ravana. So Ravana, he was happy with Mandodari. But due to out of Kama Mohita, because he was illusioned by the lust towards Sita Devi, he caused his own death. So next line is representing the Ravana. So actually you described Lord Ram and also you glorified Lord Ram's heroic action. So now you take up this verse and also you try to narrate the Ramayana story fully. And then by this inspiration, Valmiki wrote entire Ramayana. So that's why the word shloka came from shoka, sadness, or depression, or something that our heart is really down, depression. This shoka is suffering turning into shloka. So origin of shloka is this shoka. So in this way, Bhagavatam, and even Ramayana teaches us how to turn our shoka into sloka, how to turn our difficulties, our stumbling blocks into stepping stone for our advancement of spiritual journey. So, right in the beginning, we discussed this verse. Yadidam manasa vacha chakshulvyam sarabana adibihi nashivaram griyamanam cha pitti maya manomayam. Whatever we see is creation of our own mind. Whatever we see is nothing but maya. Anyone can read this translation?
Yes, Harsharani Didi, please can you unmute yourself? Harsharani Didi, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. My dear Yudava, the material universe that you perceive through your mind, speech, eyes, ears, and other senses is an illusory creation that one imagines to be real due to the influence of Maya. In fact, you should know that all of the objects of the material senses are temporary. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Krishna.
thank you. In dream, we create so many objects. In the dream, for example, if you go to school, so in the dream, we create school building, we create student, we create teacher, we create everything. But when teacher gives a lesson, who gives that lesson? It's not a teacher. Our own mind giving that lesson. Our own mind speaking through that teacher in your dream. In that way, currently what we experience now also creation of our own perception. Some person can be called a friend. The same person can be called enemy by someone else. How come the same person can be friend or enemy? Why? According to the person who perceives it. The same Krishna on the altar, for us, our dear Lord. For another person, it's just a piece of marble. How come they bow down to marble and then they put so many food in front of this stone? For them, it's nothing but a stone. Who create this vision, perception? It's us. That's why, again, 13th chapter, Bhagavatam, it says here, Drishtim tatha prati nivartya nivrita trishnas tushnim bhave nitya sukhanubhavo nirihaha sandrishyate kvacha yaditam avastu bhutyaya tyaktam brahmaya na bhave smriti anipatat. So anyone can read translation, please?
Harsharani Didi, please. I will.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Having understood the temporary illusory nature of material things, and thus, having pulled one's vision away from illusion, one should remain without material desires. By experiencing the happiness of the soul, one should give up material speaking and activities. If sometimes one must observe the material world, one should remember that it is not ultimate reality, and therefore one has to give it up. By such constant remembrance, up till the time of death, one will not again fall into illusion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. But be careful, it says that here we have to give up this material speaking and the material activities. That doesn't mean that we should run away from our own responsibility. Arjuna, he wanted to run away from the battle right in the beginning. He doesn't want to get involved with this costly warfare. But after instructed by Krishna, having been instructed by Krishna, what did he do? He didn't go to forest. He stayed where he was, and then he did his own duty. But this time he fought not for his happiness, not for his kingdom, but for pleasing Krishna's word. So sometimes we say that I want to be renounced. That renunciation, deep down in his heart, I want to run away from all my responsibility. This is not the way Bhagavatam teaching us. Here, giving up means you give up the material mentality, giving up the mentality that everything has to centered around me. Everything has to happen according to my expectation. Everything has to happen according to my plan. This type of mentality has to be given up. It's not that you have to run away from your responsibility. So then let us think that then how everything is whatever we see, everything is the illusion, then how we mold our consciousness. So here answer comes next. Can you read the next verse?
Yes, next is Lata Mataji, but I don't see Lata Mataji is there. There is Oma. Oma, can you unmute yourself? Okay, sorry. There's the iPhone. Somebody has raised their hand. Sorry, can you let me know why you have raised their hand, please? I will. I don't know what.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it might be me. I'm just walking on the street, but I'm listening keenly. By mistake, it might have been pressed. I'm very sorry if it happened.
No problem. I got the next of the Kelly Vrindavan Devi Dasi. Please, can you unmute yourself? Kelly Vrindavan?
Sorry, what did you say, Mataji?
No, I just want the Kelly Vrindavan Devi Dasi. Can you read, please?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, I'm also outside, but anyway, okay. So one should concentrate his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who alone distribute himself in so many manifestations, just as ordinary persons create thousands of manifestations in dreams. One must concentrate the mind on him, the only all blissful absolute truth. Otherwise, one will be misled and one will be misled and will cause his own degradation. Thank you.
So it's interesting. Someone still, some people are still they doing their job or maybe coming back from the work. Thanks for joining us, even if it's not a suitable circumstances. I appreciate that. So in this way, then, if everything, whatever we perceive, is nothing but Maya, then how we see properly? How can we see Satyam behind this Maya? So answer is here, that we are in a Krishna's dream. We are in a stage where Krishna is set up. So the tree we see outside our window is not ordinary tree. The sun, which we see every single day, the rain we get today is not ordinary rain. Is nothing but Krishna's part of drama. So in this way, every manifestation we experience is actually orchestrated by Krishna. So we are luckily invited in that part of drama. In this way, we have to see Krishna. In this way, we have to see things around us. In this way, we have to experience our day-to-day life. So today, this morning in morning work, while on the way, while chanting in the morning, normally when the small footpath, we come across other people. So that a lot of times we meet people we never seen before. But because such a good morning, we say good morning. So sometimes when we say good morning, the other party doesn't respond at all. So some days, most people respond to good morning. So when I say good morning, when they say good morning back, they feel nice. But when they completely ignore you, it doesn't feel nice. And yet, they have their own role to play. Either they happily say, answer back good morning, or completely ignores you is their choice. It's their role, which is given by Krishna. But you should not affect by them. So there was one time I was doing japa work. At that time I was wearing dhoti. It's just after rain. So that, after rain, there is weather is more clear. So I was happily doing japa work. And then, when the footpath, there are a lot of people, they're walking their dog. So one very vicious dog, they're running towards me, and it jumped on me. And then all my clean white dhoti become messed up because dog jumped on me. And then it wasn't very pleasant experience. But the lady, what she said is amazing. Still, I don't forget. The lady told me, not told me actually. The lady even didn't say anything to me. He said to the dog. He called the dog name. I forgot the dog name, and then she said, "That's not for eating." So in this way, that's her role to say so. There wasn't any apology. There isn't no sorry about your clothes got messed up. She didn't say anything. Just she said that that's not for eating. So this is her response to the situation. So, but for me, I carried on the japa work. Although a little bit unpleasant, but it wasn't that much of what you call disturbance. So in this way, we in our life, there are many, many unexpected experiences. So that that experience, even if you come across, you carry on your duty, you carry on what you are supposed to do. Actually, I supposed to finish a few minutes ago, isn't it? 6:45, isn't it? So I have to take a question. Okay, so today I'll do this much, and then next slide I'll do next class.
That's fine, Prabhuji. That's okay. Because, so we can...
Yeah, we'll open for the question.
Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Please share your realization, or you have any question or any comments on the class, please kindly raise your hand or just unmute yourself and I will let you speak, please. I will. Is there anybody who would like to ask any question? Is Rupa has unmuted herself.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the lovely class, Patanjali Muni Prabhu. My question is, in Satyam Param Dhimahi, what does Dhimahi mean? Satyam
meditate.
Is Krishna. Meditate on and
Param means supreme.
Supreme.
And then, yeah, Satyam is truth. I meditate on supreme truth.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I meditate on supreme. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. And then the Sipara Mataji is next. Sipara Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have any questions or would like to comment anything? You unmute yourself, so.
No, I don't have any question. I'm just listening. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, there is the one. Is Kelly Vrindavan Devidasi, please? Yeah. Kelly Vrindavan Devidasi, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, sorry. Yes, this is a very timely topic. I mean, not this week, last week, I had Rupa Mataji's summarize this in the beginning. So how to tolerate with all this situation? Yes. Do you have any more tips? It's sometimes difficult to see, like like in Patanjali Prabhu's dog's case as well. I would have acted the same as he did. So, could you give me more tips, please? Thank you.
Maybe someone else can answer. Anyone? After listening to class, maybe I have this idea. Maybe anyone who wants to give a suggestion?
There is a Patanjali is on as well. Patanjali, would you like to speak on this or?
Anyone want to share experience?
No, Haribol, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the lovely class. The Nota's experience, I mean, I was just going to say exactly the same as Mataji just said. It is such a relevant topic, and it just completely, I mean, I don't know, it just echoes completely what we are all going through, especially me, what we are all going through at the moment, with so many disturbances all around. Especially with the second wave of lockdown coming up, possibly. It's very, very relevant. And I mean, I cannot thank you, Prabhu, enough for actually bringing up this topic. And what really, really teaches me, because I was thinking about it this morning because I was feeling very disturbed for the last 2 days. And this morning when I was doing my japa, that's all I told Krishna was everything is, you know, I've just left everything to you now. So you've told me, okay, you're putting us through all this test. I'm just going to blindly believe in you, and I don't know anything else. You give me the answer. You tell me how to do, you know, have peace. And what you taught us now, Prabhu, it kind of reiterated what I was trying to do. That, you know, it's the perception, and that's the main word, isn't it? How we perceive things. If we perceive things in the wrong way, that is only going to give us distress and disturbance. If we perceive things as, you know, whatever is to happen is going to happen, we in our mind, we keep the peace, keeping our blind faith on Krishna, that he has chosen us as his special one, every single soul on in the universe. We are all his special ones, and he will look after us. And if we can exist in that way, then there is only going to be peace. And if we can perceive our lives in that way, that is the only thing that can give us peace. Otherwise, it is going to always give us distress, because life is full of distress, even in the smallest of things. So thank you very much for that. But I also do have a very quick question, going back to right at the beginning, when you mentioned about Arjuna. Now, Arjuna was always Lord Krishna's devotees. Yes, their relationship was it was Sakya Bhav, wasn't it? Friendship. But at the same time, Arjuna was always aware of who Lord Krishna was. So he was always his devotee. So keeping that in mind, although he came to the battlefield, how did he actually become, or how did he actually develop that ego to become more general-like and order Krishna to go in the middle of the battlefield without saying a please? Was it not in a friendly way, that, you know, because he's my friend, yes, I'm a devotee, but he's also my friend, so I can actually ask him to go to the middle of the battlefield? So I'm just a bit confused about that, Prabhu. I don't know if you understand my question,
Okay.
but
I understand.
Yeah, okay, so
Sorry.
Patanjali Muni Prabhu, even with Panchali's question, there's other question maybe you might want to answer together.
Okay.
The other one is the how to control the greed and the lust. That's from the Bharat Prabhu is asked the question.
Okay. So it's a good question, and there is saying pride comes before fall. So Arjuna plays role for us, that he was enjoying the battle always. You know, the Kshatriyas, they love to fight. So he's just about to fight, and then he wants to show all his army skills. So in this way, he was very confident in the battle. So in this way, he temporarily ignored the Krishna's supreme feature, so that he just playing a role as a general. That was his mood at that particular time in the beginning. Later on, his mood changes. That's one thing. And then how to control the greed and lust. I think this is related to how to tolerate. At the moment we are extremely difficult situation due to lockdown. So many people experience that they never ever experienced before. This is again that sometimes we trying to get easy solution. We want to have a panacea for everything. It's like a sportsman, in order to build a muscle, they have to do some work. So they have to push their muscle very hard, otherwise the muscle will not grow. So any Olympic sportsman, you look at their practice, it's incredible effort they are putting in. Even then, the gold medal is not guaranteed. And yet they're striving very hard. But what we're trying to do is that we try to make a little endeavor and then leave it, rest it is for Krishna, you do it. So I've done this much now, rest is yours. This also, we have to guard against it. It's like if you don't know how to swim, by changing swimming pool, you'll never learn swimming. We're always trying to change external circumstances rather than putting our own endeavor to get over. So there was one story that one time one old lady, not old lady, one young couple that husband and wife talk. So that just imagine we are on journey. So you and me and mother-in-law, we are traveling together. Somehow our ship was sinking. So who are you going to save first, me or your mother? And then the husband said that, of course I have to save my mother first. And then that wife was very, very upset. Oh my God, how can you say that? And then she wrote a long letter to one of consultant. And the consultant, I really trust my husband, I love him, but he answered me like this, that he's going to save his mother first. How can I live with him? So what is the solution? So give me some solution. And then the consultant sent answer back, only one sentence. Please learn how to swim. So sometimes life is like that. So if we somehow trying to change other person, if we trying to change the circumstances, if we trying to change our job, any surroundings, if trying to mold outside in a way that's suitable or favorable for me, that also Maya, that also our ego. Somehow or other, if we work on internally, which I saying again and again, somehow we trying to see differently, change your perception, so that what Krishna want me to learn from this, what kind of lift I have to keep pushing, lift up, what kind of weight I have to keep lifting up, so that Krishna, whatever difficulties you arrange, actually Krishna arrangement for you to build your own muscle. So as we discussed right earlier on, that individually we are chosen by Krishna, which means we are chosen by the best. Like Steve Jobs, he thought he was abandoned, but he was especially chosen by these new parents. So he was happy with that. And then his life changed. The same way, we all have unique relationship with Krishna. Krishna specifically chose you. So if you are chosen, if it's no difficult in your life, what is the story? There is no drama. So Krishna cannot enjoy the drama. Krishna will change the channel. Krishna will watch something else. So sometimes I'm sure you all have experience of watching boring drama. No one likes boring drama. People like excitement. You know, all the main characters, they narrowly escape the murder or whatever. So many difficulties. The more difficult they go through, and then finally they get up, they overcome, and then finally they achieve what they want to achieve. Then we feel deep satisfaction. Why? Because they are doing on behalf of us. That's why we enjoying drama, enjoying movie. Krishna also enjoying your drama. Don't make it so boring. Yes? So in this way, nothing to tolerate. Somehow you have to deal with it. And also you get back up again and again. You have to be resilient. So in this way, you need to get over your greed, get over your lust, get over your any tolerance. Actually, day to day, you are part of Krishna's drama. So make Krishna very excited. Don't make him bored and then make him yawn. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let us
Thank
do
you,
it
Patanjali
here.
Muni Prabhu. It was
Thank you,
enlightening
Prabhu.
answer. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Is Bhavini Mataji have something to say?
Actually, I do.
Yeah, I saw you unmuted. You muted yourself again.
So Prabhu, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
So when you relinquish everything to Krishna, but you're still containing, you're maintaining yourself, your family, continuing with your prescribed duties. How do you prevent yourself from being a little bit smug, I suppose, saying, "Oh, this is Krishna's will," or "This is Krishna's wish"? How?
There is actually great danger.
Mm.
You know, I see a lot of cases. Oh, that's a Krishna remainder, the cheap way out. The cheap way to avoid their own responsibility. This is the disease for the devotee. Oh, that's a Krishna's arrangement anyway. No. My Guru Maharaj said again and again to all his disciples, you create short-term goal, mid-term goal, and long-term goal. If you don't have a goal in your life, you will not have excitement in your life. Your sadhana and your spiritual journey will be very, very in danger very soon. So you need to have your own drive to achieve. But at the same time, that drive, try to make it in line with Krishna. So that we look after our children, we look after our family, at the same time we work, all these things. We have to do our best of ability. By being slack on it and then, oh, the Krishna doesn't want in that way. This is a cheap excuse. So we have to be very much guard against our own mindset that always we try the best as we can. Why? If we don't do that, it disturbs loka sangraha, social harmony. For example, doctor, they have to be best doctor to treat the patient. If they don't do their job properly, then the consequence is beyond our imagination. It's unbelievable consequence we will face. We cannot afford that. Pilot, if they neglect their job, 200, 300 people, their lives is in danger. Exactly the same way, even if we do small work, nowadays everything is connected. So that, can you imagine, for example, any person who work in the London water company, so they made a mistake in their water system, then how many people will suffer due to their mistake? So in this way, Bhagavad says that Karman Indriya, it says that Karman eva hi samsittim. Whatever work you do, trying to achieve perfection, some city, we have to reach a city. That's what Krishna's injunction in the, Karma Yoga. So being Krishna conscious means, doesn't mean that we being neglectful. We live everything Krishna, so I'll make one step, you make a 10 step towards me, so you sort it out whatever mess I made. It's not like that. So actually, what your question is actually is a wake-up call for all of us, so that we should not be slack on our own duty, responsibility, so that we have to strive best what we do. We have to be best mother, we have to be best father, we have to be best worker in our job in this way. And yet, when we achieve something, then you're trying to be thankful to those around you, and then be thankful to ultimately Krishna who sanctioned it. So in this way, we won't be egoistic, we'll be safe. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the explanation.
Thank you, Patanjali Muni Prabhu. Thank you very much. It was really very much enlightening. I must admit that. It was just fantastic what the last bit was like, very heart-touched, and hopefully we all remember this. But before we start the last prayers, please anyone can say who would like to do summary next